especially creepy on Stargate. And, it's a very underrated series, and it's a great role. But I'm curious if there's a cause or a mission, some nonprofit, something that you're really passionate about, that your heart kind of leads out to.
Yes. There's this organization called IRC. It's called International Rescue Committee. Look them up online. They have these things that make great gifts actually over the holidays. It's an organization that helps refugees from other countries, obviously, come to the States, and they acclimate them. And it's mostly focused around countries with political strife and women in particular who need to flee. And they work in Africa and in the Middle East a little bit. They haven't really gotten into Latin America yet, but check them out. They're a really amazing organization, and they have these gifts for like, 25 to like $150, like whatever you want to pay. For like 25 bucks, you can provide water for a family for an entire year, or a year of education for a child, or prenatal care for a woman. All these things, and it's, it doesn't cost much, and it's better than giving a gift that nobody's going to use.
Is there something about that you personally connect with?
Yes, I'm an immigrant. I came here from Brazil, and though I wasn't fleeing anything really dangerous, it's hard to acclimate to another country, and we moved here because my country was in such turmoil, and I just think that the work they do is really important. And I saw, the reason why I got to know them is I was invited randomly to one of their benefits where they were honoring the Brokaw family for their anthropological work, and they brought out actual refugees who had been in the country now for 10, 15 years, who went to medical school, became doctors, who are so grateful for the organization in order to have the opportunity that they had, that they wouldn't have had in their country. So I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's hard to follow up that great question. I know you run into a lot of fans from Firefly and Stargate and things like that. But are there any popular culture franchises that you're really into? Like if a movie comes out, you can see it.
I really enjoyed Avengers, I have to say. And not just because Joss directed it. I mean, he obviously put his very own personal take on it, which I loved. But I did enjoy that very much. It's been a while since something has grabbed me so much. I was into Lord of the Rings at first, but I have to say it kind of lost me. I'm not going to make any friends here soon. What? I agree. Oh, you agree? Okay. Thank you. But there hasn't been something in a while that I've been really grabbed by.
Well,
hopefully that'll change. Thanks.
Just want to say thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask you another Firefly question.
Excellent.
So I know that Joss and some of the other actors from the show were able to take some things from the set, and I was wondering if there was anything special you got to take that you were really happy with.
I did. I took, do you remember that bowl? It was like a porcelain with like blue Chinese dragons around it that I used in Heart of Gold during that birthing scene. So I took that. And I took some of my tea sets from my shuttle. And there were a few costumes I would have loved to have had, but they got sold at auction. But I think it was for charity, so.
Thank you.
Thank you for signing my Fighting Elf shirt, All My Love.
Oh, look at that.
I
can't wash it ever again.
Never. I have to explain it to my wife. It's going to be hard enough.
I have two quick questions. What happened to that little dog that was at your feet yesterday?
He's right there.
Where's Ruby?
Oh.
That's Ruby?
That's Rudy, yeah, Rudy Rebound.
Rudy.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be there. And do you have any stage work?
I don't. I really love to. I almost did a play this month actually, but it would run into my Homeland run, so I couldn't do it. That's the hard thing about a play, is it takes a little while, so I haven't been able to fit it in, but I'd really love to do a play soon.
I love to see you.
Thank you.
Hey there.
Hi.
I don't know if you're a reader, but I'm just wondering if you have any book series that you consider your favorite and that you would suggest that everybody needs to read.
The last book series I read was probably the Dennis Lehane detective stories. You guys know that as he wrote Gone Baby Gone. That series, it was the last series I think I read. I read a lot of other things, but that's probably the last series, yeah. Thanks.
That's my girlfriend.
Okay.
I was wondering how you met the love of your life.
How I met him. This is really personal and embarrassing.
That's the point.
Yes. We met through friends, let's just say. It's a much more complicated story that will be revealed when I do one of these really drunk. So we met through friends, and it was probably about 8 years ago. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
This is a large crowded room, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
My question is, I've seen footage of the other cast members of Firefly, I don't know, it was 12 years ago, they were talking about the message and how you guys knew that the show was going to be canceled, and there's that awesome scene out in the snow. And I was wondering what you were feeling at that time specifically, because I heard about you talk about it.
Yeah, it was really sad. It was a really sad time. But we got to the point where we couldn't cry anymore, so we just got kind of punchy, and the jokes just started flying, and it was really fun. It was a nice way to end, actually. Nobody was moping around too much, and a lot of practical jokes were played. Most of them are in the outtakes, I think, in the DVD extras. And, you know, we would just goof around and take our time with things and really enjoy every moment, and the big joke was always, what are they going to do, cancel us?
Thank you very much.
Hey, Morena.
Hi there.
Thank you for coming once
Thanks.
again. I was just wondering, how much of yourself would you say that there is in Anna and in Lara?
Hopefully none in Anna. And I guess hopefully none in Nara too. I think, you know, that question is a hard one. It's a tricky one to answer because I think it's obviously parts of me in all of those characters, otherwise I wouldn't be able to play them. But I think that if I focus too much on what that is, it kind of demystifies playing a character for me. It takes away the magic of trying to find a character, because in my mind, I'd like to believe that I've completely created this person out of nowhere, and I am accessing things that I'm just completely making up. So that makes me feel better.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, do you have any advice for someone who wants to be an actor?
Yes, that's great. I think do what you love. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. And study a lot, read a lot, watch actors you love. But I think training is really important. If you know if you're somebody who likes to observe things and learn, it's really important as an actor in order to be versatile and to be able to play anything. And at a certain point, you know, it becomes clear whether or not it's going to work out for you, and that's something you just follow.
Thank you.
Okay.
Out of Homeland or V, which character do you like better?
I probably like Homeland better. It's something that's more, there's just more depth there to play. Anna was a great character and a lot of fun, but it was more one note than in Homeland, where there's just a wealth of emotional things to tap into and different conflicts going on. So, yeah.
Good afternoon, I'm Lola.
Hi.
And welcome to Portland. Is this your first time to Portland? What have you enjoyed so far? And if you have watched Portlandia, how do we live up to our reputation?
I have watched Portlandia. It's pretty hilarious. I'd have to say it's a gross exaggeration of what I've seen, but a very funny one. I have been to Portland quite a few times because View was shot in Vancouver, and I would do the drive up there twice and back twice a year. So we stayed here and gone to the Willamette Valley and done all kinds of things in Oregon in general. And I love it. It's great food, great city, lots to do. The weather bums me out a lot. But we ate at this place called Paley's Place or Paley's Place. It was really, really good. I highly recommend it.
Thank you.
I admit, if I see your name on TV and something, I immediately turn to it. So some of it I haven't even paid attention to the name of the show, just brain is in it. One was most recently a movie, your husband was killed, kind of a robbery. And
Oh, it's called Look Again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know, you've been in so many roles, and I know some of them were just kick-ass to be in and fun. But what is the role that you just, as soon as you read it, it didn't matter anything else? It kind of caught your heart so much that you had to do it.
Homeland.
That is still that one?
100% Homeland, yeah. I mean, I read the pilot and I thought it was such an incredible story and an impossible situation that this woman was in. I wanted to know what happened next, and that's how I knew I wanted to do it.
It's for the weather to come back in the summer.
Yeah, I know. I just think nice to have
As far as B, was there anything that really surprised you about the script? That you were surprised you read it and you're like, I totally didn't see that coming.
Yeah, eating a rat. I have to say, I thought, they kept telling me that we're not going to make you do that, don't worry, we're not going to. That's what everybody wanted to know. The minute I was cast, are you going to eat a rat? And they were like, don't worry, we're not going to do it. And then finally they came out to me like, listen, we're having this episode written, it's going to be a bird, it's not going to be a rat. I was like, okay, how is that better? And then it migrated to a rat at some point, and then they told me it was going to be a mouse. You know, it was not a mouse. That thing was huge.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We all obviously know that you're a great actress. Do you have any other talents that we don't know about, like drawing or painting or singing or dancing or
definitely not singing. Archery. I did archery for a while because of Serenity, actually. That was really fun. I haven't done it for a little bit, but it was fun. I actually even got lessons from Gina Davis at one point, which was really, really cool. Yeah, which was awesome. And for some of you who don't know, she was an Olympic archer and an actor. I don't know, what do I do? I like to cook. I cook a lot. I don't know how great I am at all of the things that I make, but I do enjoy it. He has to say yes. Yeah, I don't think I do anything else. Huh?
Hello, again.
Hi.
So, how did you break into the business, and what was it like getting in for you?
I went to Juilliard, the conservatory in New York, for 4 years. Worked really, really hard. And there's a showcase at the end of your 4 years where agents come and see your work, which is one of the reasons why I went to that school, just because I knew that the business paid attention to that school. And you do your showcase, and then it's, you know, pure luck or talent or whatever, where they decide whether they want to pick you up or not. And so I got a lot of calls, which was, I felt really lucky to have that. And as soon as I signed with an agent, I just started going out for auditions even before I had left the school. And I got cast in 2 really small independent films right as I graduated, and I thought, this is it, I'm done. I'm in the business, I'm gonna be famous. Everybody's gonna know who I am, and boy, was I wrong. I did a lot of stuff for a while, independent films and TV shows and things that went nowhere fast. And you know, it just kind of, for me, it's been a slow build. You know, there wasn't that one thing that completely exploded. I mean, you know, you guys have known me for a while because of Firefly, but I would say a lot of people out there would not know who I was until V. That was a huge exposure because they publicized the hell out of it, and my face was everywhere. And then beyond that, you know, Homeland. So it's been sort of just a slow build. And I think for some people it happens like an explosion. You know, there's that one job and then everybody knows who you are. And for some people, you just, you know, you keep just sort of building your career, and it happens slowly.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
Hi. My favorite episode of Firefly was Jamestown.
Oh, cool.
And I'd like to know what your favorite episode was, and what was the episode that was the most fun to film?
I think Shindig. It was really funny because it had a ball, you know, I literally got to dress up like a princess. Not that my costumes sucked every day, but you know, that one was especially special. And I liked watching Nathan do a sword fight. It was pretty fun to watch.
Hello.
Hi.
So I'm wondering, obviously you've done lots of kind of sci-fi stuff. How, as an actress, you approach doing something like V or Firefly versus something that's a lot more natural, like Homeland?
You know, the material dictates how I approach things. Something like Firefly or V is much more stylized and requires more of a strict physicality and way of speaking. And Homeland is, like you said, more natural, and it's more about the internal emotional life and getting in touch with that versus an outward physical appearance.
And okay, this is super weird, but I sold you a handbag from the Coach store at Woodburn like 2 years ago.
A white one?
I don't remember.
I think it was white. I know exactly what bag you're talking about.
I was too embarrassed to say anything at the time, but I just wanted to thank you for giving me an awesome story to tell my geek friends.
Was that nice to you?
Yes.
Yeah.